Greetings, zombie fans, and welcome to another video about the game 30 Seconds to Live. In this video, we will discuss how each player's turn is played, but we don't cover all the rules. There are other videos that will break down specific things like attacking into greater detail. This video begins after both sides have set up their cards. To avoid having to constantly rotate things, all the zombie player's cards are oriented to face the survivor for the purposes of this demonstration video. Normally they would not be, but it would make for a really difficult video if I didn't do that. The survivor player goes first. The objective for the survivor is to move from row 1, where they begin the game, to the street. If they can do this, then they win the game. They will need to gather weapons and either fight or avoid zombies to make it to the street. They do not need to kill every zombie they see. Escaping as quickly as possible is key, otherwise the zombies will grow in size to a level that they simply cannot fight off. Each player's turn is broken down into 3 phases: a draw phase, an action phase, and a resolution phase. At the start of the survivor draw phase, flip over your energy tokens to the unused side, then draw 1 tactics card into your hand. This phase is not timed. The action phase is subject to a 30-second time limit. Note that the timer should not be used until both players are familiar with the cards, rules, and gameplay. If a player finds the timer keeps them from enjoying the game can be played without it. You can time the action phase using the included sand timer, or the app, or you can use your own timer such as your cell phone. To use the app, visit app.30secondstolive.com on your smartphone. Please note that that's the number 30, not the words. The timer should be controlled by the opposing player and should not be paused except in the case of a rules dispute or a card interpretation. Sometimes the opposing player can play cards to counter a move or make a surprise attack. The timer is still ticking while this happens. The survivor has 4 energy to spend on actions in the action phase. As they take actions and spend energy, they flip the tokens over to show that they have been used. If the timer runs out and the player still has energy left, that energy is forfeited and does not carry over to the next round. The survivor can spend energy to draw a card from the tactics deck, pick up a supply card from the alley, play a supply or tactics card from their hand, move the survivor, stand the survivor up if they've been knocked down, and attack a zombie. The cost to perform an action is shown on the cards. Each arrow means to spend 1 energy to do this action. If a card shows an arrow with a slash through it, it means the action is free and requires no energy. Free actions and the use of abilities may be done after the player has spent all their energy, but only if time is remaining. Actions can be done in any order and can be repeated. For example, you could draw 2 cards and then play 2 cards. Or you could move, pick up a supply card, attack, and then move. At the end of their action phase, the survivor begins the resolution phase, which is not timed. There may be cards in play that indicate that something happens in the resolution phase, or that a condition ends. If the survivor drew the shuffle the deck card from their attack deck this turn, take all the attack cards from the discard pile and put them back into the attack deck and shuffle it. Lastly, there is a maximum hand size of 4. If you have more than 4 cards, you need to discard down to 4. The zombie player should hand the sand timer to the survivor ahead of the zombie player taking their turn. In the resolution phase, cards that have time tokens on them instruct you to remove 1 token. The survivor player has 4 tokens on row 1, and there are no instructions indicated. At the end of the resolution phase, just like all other time tokens, you will remove 1 of them from play. When the last token is removed, the warehouse zombies will be released, and the zombie player should flip those cards over. These zombies are now considered in play. The warehouse zombies can also be triggered if the survivor moves into row 4. The zombie turn largely works the same as the survivor turn, but there are some key differences. The objective for the zombie player is to reduce the survivor to 0 health before the survivor can escape the alley. If they can do that, the zombies win, and the survivor dies a gruesome death and joins the horde. The draw phase is not timed. The zombie player begins the draw phase by flipping over their energy tokens to the unused side, and then drawing one tactics card into their hand. Then, every zombie that does not have a knockdown token on it moves by its movement value in the direction of the survivor. The zombie player may then remove any knockdown tokens from zombies that are 3 or more rows behind the survivor. Like the survivor, the zombie player has 4 energy to spend on actions in their action phase. They can spend that energy to draw a card from either the tactics or zombie deck, play a card from their hand, move a zombie, stand up a zombie that has been knocked down, or attack the survivor. At the end of their action phase, the zombie player begins the resolution phase, which is not timed. It works exactly like the survivor resolution phase, but with one added possible step. They resolve any cards in play that need to be resolved, shuffle the attack deck if needed, and discard cards if needed. If you are playing with the optional concussion rules, and the zombie player did not attempt an attack on the survivor may remove 1 concussion token from play. Finally, they should take the timer from the survivor player, if it is being used, ahead of the survivor taking their turn. Play now reverts to the survivor player, and it will continue to go back and forth until either the survivor escapes or is reduced to 0 health. And that is how you play each side in the game 30 Seconds to Live. I hope you have found this video helpful, and please be sure to check out all our other videos, including setup, attacking, as well as an entire game playthrough. Thank you very much, and good luck.